Board of Directors meeting. Are there any public comments? All right. Let's move on to items for individual consideration. We'll receive a report, hold discussion, and take action on the approval of the minutes from the prior meeting held on June 25th, 2026. You'll find that on page 2. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Those minutes are approved. Thank you, Melissa and Lucas. All right, let's receive a report, hold discussion, and consider grant applications.
So we have, we need to submit applications to the Annis Reed Grant Fund, which is part of the Texas Downtown. When we go to the conference, they award the grants, and we've got a few before, and so I want to submit one of those. We are thinking it will be for our volunteer program, but not certain. And then Texoma Community Foundation has a grant, and we want to try to get one for Music on Main through them.
All right.
Donna, how much are the grants for?
You can submit, I think, up to $10,000 for the Annis Reed. They usually give them $2,000 or $3,000, so it's not significant, but it would help that project. The TCF, they don't specify, so they said you can ask for an amount, but they hide it from their funders. They either grant you one or not, and they could give you partial, so.
Are you specifying an amount that you're hoping?
I don't know, probably $50,000, just,
I think that's good. Let her know the ballpark you want to play in.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant applications.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? All right, we will apply for those grants. All right, and with that being the end of business at 8:07, let's adjourn the City of Denison Main Street Inc. Board of Directors meeting. All right, and at 8:07, let's call to order the City of Denison Main Street Advisory Board meeting. Are there any public comments? Okay, let's receive a report, hold discussion, and take action on the approval of minutes from the prior meeting held June 25th, 2026. You'll find those starting on page 3 of your packet. Hold on, I got one discussion item.
Oh, gotcha.
Is Mitch still on the board? He is on the not in attendance.
Well, so he hasn't submitted a letter of resignation.
Okay, so that is still correct then? All right.
I second.
Okay, remake a motion?
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
Re-second.
All right, thank you, Spencer and Melissa. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. receive a report, hold discussion, and consider updates regarding the sponsorship, outreach, and board member support for downtown events and initiatives.
So we haven't had a whole lot of time to work on this month, but I've got some thoughts based on our conversations last month and some just some ideas to propose, mainly for Music on Main. So the meet and greets with the artist on the different blocks is really not feasible because they don't do that in public settings. They typically will, but very small groups. And so that's probably not likely. And the lowering of sponsorships amount is really more difficult to manage for us because with every sponsorship level you have benefits, and if you add a lot of levels, then you have to make sure that you deliver to those sponsors. And just this last year we even reduced the number of levels. We took out the lower level just because it was difficult to manage. And so for to make it more manageable, we reduced those. So that's my comment on the lowering of the levels. I mean, we always work with people if they want to work together and sponsor a larger level, then that's fine with us. But we can't spend a lot of time on the lower levels delivering those services because we've got other responsibilities. So that's my experience and comments on that. One thing that we could do, we have 2 weeks left at Music on Main, and so I would, let's say each one of you had somebody in mind that you could ask to be a sponsor next year. Then you could maybe ask them to come out to Music on Main to experience it, or just invite them to come so they could see what they would be working with. Of course, it's going to be different because it's going to be at Heritage Park, and that won't have the same feel as over there, but it's still as close as we can get. Another thing that I've got is write grants, and you've approved one already. We approved last month the grants at the local foundations, and so we'll be looking for more of those too. And then just board supports, and if you can, at least bring one funder or sponsor to the table. And then somebody had mentioned multi-year agreements, and I think that's fine. I think that's a good idea. Usually, and even with this next year, I'm not a big fan of raising the sponsorship prices, but I'm trying to think how you could get people, okay, well, sign up now because, prices are going up, or sign up now to be the first. We've got a limited number. So I'm just thinking in that realm, but that's really all I have to offer this time.
All right. Yeah, I like that because a lot of times sponsors often get this level is you have the first right of refusal because you were this sponsor last year. So you feel like,
Right.
hey, for this next 3, you can lock in and if rates go up. So I like that.
Hey, Donna, can I ask you a question about the artist meet and greets? So will you talk a little bit more about that?
Sherman does artist meet and greets, and they get like the mayors, some city council members, and, you know, maybe 10 or 15 people. And they have it in a private area like council chambers or something like that. Again, it's difficult to manage. So we've not had those.
Is that something that you're wanting to add, or was that something that?
That was something that was mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Somebody works ours and doesn't work Sherman's because of the meet and greets. They're just chaotic. And so that's,
It's one more thing that's not necessary.
yes. And really, it's for the higher level because you would have to give them to the highest level. And then the lower levels wouldn't get it because you're limited. So, yeah.
All right, any more discussion? All right, let's move on to item 3C, receive report, hold discussion, and consider planning for the upcoming Texas Historical Commission Main Street Program site visit.
Doesn't that sound exciting?
Does.
We sponsor that event?
Yes, yes, you could. We're looking for a food sponsor. We are, Sam, you may have to help me. The annual accreditation by Main Street America asks if you've had a recent site visit from your state. I think maybe every 2 years or maybe less often. But anyway, we haven't had one since we hosted training here in, what was that, 2023 maybe? Yeah. So we're going to have one in August. And of course, I think they don't feel the need to babysit us because they know that we're better than, in a better position than most. But still, there's, things I'm sure that they could help with. So I haven't had my phone call with them to find out exactly what we're going to do in this meeting. But I think it's just to make sure we're on the right track. Like we're meeting with our committees monthly and we're making sure that we've got long-term support from the city council and things like that. So the invite list, so far I've invited Renee Wagoner and she's cleared her calendar for it, so that's very good. Of course, the board is invited. They cautioned us not to have a quorum, or you have to post it, like potential quorum. And so I'm kind of thinking if all of y'all want to come, that's wonderful, and we'll just post it. And it's a 3-hour session. So it's from 12 to 3 on August. Of what? Oh, August. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Did you say 22nd or 27th? 27th.
Yeah. So it's actually on our board meeting day. So we got to be short for our board meeting next time, or y'all can carry on without me either. I don't mind. But at 9 o'clock they come in, we do a walk around, and then and that's just me and them. And then at 11 we go to lunch, and then at 12 to 3 is when they have the big meeting. And so I really think it would be a good idea for the board to come because it will possibly educate you on some things you didn't know, because they do an evaluation of our program or the things we should be doing, and that's based on our work plan and our, what word am I looking for? The transformation strategies. There you go. Yeah, that's why we have them. I can't do it by myself. So anyway, it's based on what our goals and things are. And so what else did I miss? Okay. So again, it's from 12 to 3. And what we wanted to do today, we're just starting to plan it. I found out maybe a month ago. Maybe. And so I feel like, we booked this room and we booked the room next door. I feel like we need to feed people if we're going to take their noon time. And so we've got that planned. And it'll be just a discussion time, I think, with a lot of input from the board and an opportunity to ask questions. They said maybe our finance director would be a good person to ask. They asked who's in charge of your budget, and I said, well, I'm in charge of managing it, but the people that give us the money, of course, is council, but the finance department has a lot of that. So I think the idea behind that is that they would see our needs and see that there's greater thought and purpose behind those needs. So there are only 20 is the max. And so we were going to start with the board to see who wanted to come, who can. Like some of you may be, that may be your busy time, Hunter. And so, of course, we'll understand if you can't come, and we don't have to have everybody, but if that's something that you're interested in and can do, then speak up, please.
Did you say it was 20 people are allowed to be there?
Max, yeah.
And y'all need lunch for 20 people? I can do it.
You can.
Yeah, and then I'll
Good
just
deal.
come afterwards. Does that
Okay.
work? Yeah, I can do that.
Hunter, split with me if you want.
Split with you? Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be good. Thank you.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Donna, I could be there.
Okay. Sam, are you cute?
Of
Of course.
Yeah, if y'all
Yeah.
send out an email, because that way we
Check
can
your
plan around
calendar.
needing a quorum or not and see what that looks like with Chris or what have you.
Yeah, and I'm really not worried about if we have a quorum, because I think,
Well,
y'all are
no, I think in
important.
the bylaws and stuff, we have to post it in the same.
And
3
we will,
days
and we will have to do that. I mean, of course, Chris has to bring it down and post it. She has to do some, but yeah, it's not a problem.
But at that point, is it still open to the public?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and I don't know that answer. You and Hunter couldn't feed the public. Yeah. So just check your calendars. Let us know as soon as possible, though, because we want to hold a spot for you and make sure not to fill it with other people.
Do you think you should invite the TERS 3 board?
That's a very good thought. Who is on that?
I am on that. As president of or the chair of this board, I have a seat there. They hadn't met in quite a bit, or I've never received an invite, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that could be handy. Yeah, I will check on that. I think that's an excellent idea. Yeah, along those lines, I mentioned to at the city's budget meeting, if you're looking for funds, it's possible to use some of those TERS funds, which will delay our construction on future projects. And so I pointed that out. not for any specific cause or anything, but just to keep it in mind and in general. I think that would be good.
All right. I don't believe we have anything to vote on there, so let's move on to special projects reports. First, we have Music Friendly.
So as we've met last couple times, we talked about our Rhythm and Rails Festival. I think you guys should be aware of, but we are not given the green light to have the concert at Heritage Park. They're not going to be fully complete, so unfortunately, we won't be able to have that there. So we are going to move it to the 111 West Main with the Depot District South lot. And so we'll have the backdrop of Don Bammon's train mural, so that'll be a great backdrop. Yeah, so we're excited about that. It'll be a good spot for it. We looked at options around downtown, but we really wanted to keep it downtown. As y'all know, Crawford can feel like 10 blocks away to the public, so we wanted to keep that downtown as much as we could. So we are going to put it there, and we still have a great spread. We have awesome, Donna's got a map of kind of the placement of all the venues that are going to be hosting music. So it's still going to be a great festival. We're really excited about it, and appreciate all of you guys that have helped sponsor musicians and offering your venue for the festival. As far as Music on Main goes, it's been a great season so far. It is looking like it's going to be really hot for the last two, but we've been pretty fortunate this year with the rain holding off, and really temperatures overall so far not being too bad. But it's been great. Last thing I think that we've been talking about is the Creatives Care that we've partnered with the Arts Council on. Their focus has been on securing their new building from someone, and so they're in the process of moving right now, or have moved, and they're refocusing on that Creatives Care. So we're just working on the logo and getting that put together for Arita Health to get that started. I think that covers everything for Music Friendly. Yeah, we have 12 locations for Rhythm and Rails. So I know we are really excited and thankful for the support that you guys have given us for the venues and artists. And we've been promoting this at Music on Main. We've been doing some raffles and saying if you're going. And people have been asking about it. And people are really excited about Emerald City being a headliner. And just, of course, Music on Main are music lovers. So they're excited for their free festival. Yes, so we had a meeting after our last board meeting to discuss the Meet Me on Main event that we've been talking about for when construction's completed. When we talked about some possible dates, and September 12th was what we landed on. Kind of combine that with Rhythm and Rails, the Harvest Sweets and Styles will be going on that time as well. I talked with Derek, and he was supportive of having that at the same time too. So it should just all mesh to be a really good day downtown.
We're going to use like rack cards. We have holders that you can put either at your counter or in restaurants and venues. You can put them on your tables. And so one side is going to be like the Rhythm and Rails Festival. The other side will be the late night shopping. Meet Me on Main, and is there one more thing?
Harvest Sweets and Styles.
Yeah, there was something else.
Oh yeah, was it the wine lot?
The wine lot. Yeah, that's what you were working on the ad for. So we'll be bringing those around, and if you can put them out, that's awesome. That'll help advertise it. Make sure that it's all right. So everybody's checked it off, sent me their edits, because sometimes changed and things like that. And so last night, you should have received it this morning, I sent out an email to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. So.
Oh, she said
move on to TERS number 3 and the D3 project.
The end is near
For phase 2.
for phase 2. Yeah, let's don't think past that right this second. So August 18th is still the date of substantial completion. That means that all the streets will be open and the alleys, if everything stays on track. And then September 18th, 1 month later, is when Heritage Park is supposed to be substantially complete. Substantially complete on Heritage Park is farther than the sidewalks being opened. There's a lot of music equipment, electronics, and things like that that has to be tested out. And so that should take another month. And there's cleaning that has to be done before Piazza moves out. So the park will not be available for use until October 17th is what I've been told. We're putting some finishing touches on the park. That means the firefighter memorials that were there, we're getting closer to narrowing that down. It's always been planned, but a lot of things had to come before that with the construction team, and so now we're narrowing that down. As you can see on the 500 corner of 500 West Main, we've got the fountains there, and it's just shaping up more. Let's see, next week. Oh, they are starting on Burnett to pour some of those sidewalks, and so hopefully, some of the pathways can be open there to get across to the other side. And then, they're working on Fannin, but Fannin's got more moving parts to it, so it could come later. I don't know. I don't have a projected schedule of specifics past the 3-week look ahead. That's basically it on the D3 update.
Do you have anything on the books yet for the park use?
So we have, you mean dates booked?
Yeah. Anything in 2026?
The Arts Council will be having their Dia de los Muertos there. We still have to come up with the fees. We have 1 week to do that because, yeah, it's really tough because we're going to have to be present if they're going to use the electronics. There's no negotiation with that. And so we have to cover our staffing cost. But you don't want to price yourself out of the market because these are partners that are putting together events that benefit us. And so but then there's replacement cost and wear and tear of the equipment, and so that's not a job that we're looking forward to. I think I can speak for the team.
Yeah, because there's kind of some consumables, if you will, like the microphone or microphone cords, if they're corded and those kind of things. Hopefully they don't ruin any speakers or boards. So, but all right. Did the chamber book it for the parade?
No, they haven't. Yeah.
We'll have the tree lighting there, so we'll still have at least Main Street will have it covered. So, and of course, we always partner with the Cocoa competition. So, assuming they want to do it there, I'm sure that
We'll book it.
All right.
I have a question, Donna. After the move out, when they're done on completion
It should. I'm not sure if they'll totally move out. I would expect they could because we don't even have the next phase designed, and so it's going to be, at least a year, and it's not determined how long it will be, and then, we've got to check to see who's going to do the next project. So I would think that they would move it all out.
All right. Do we have an update for Doc Holliday?
We'd love your support for any sponsors for Doc Holiday as well.
All right. What about the Eisenhower birthday?
When is that again?
It's the weekend after Fall Festival, so it would be October 10th. And I will mention, just, we don't have a date set for the D3 ribbon cutting, but I will mention it's going to be in, I would guess, October, but just so you'll know that all the October events, it's going to be Fall Fest, the next weekend is Eisenhower birthday, and then sometime in there probably a ribbon cutting, and then we will use the stage and everything for the Monsters on Main costume contest.
All right. And anything else that happened during that meeting, you'll find on page 9 of your packet for the committee meeting summaries. All right. Do we have an update for DDI?
We have our Star Stripes and Santa event coming up this Saturday from 11 to 5. We actually are going to have a Santa and a Mrs. Claus. I believe they're coming up and down Main Street, strolling around. So that's going to be super exciting. We also have a dog event coming in August. It's going to be a pet friendly. I know the different DDI members we are looking for vendors, I believe, or people that want to set up as vendors with different pet products and whatnot at different DDI member locations.
Do you know what date that is?
The
It's
pet
the same
one?
weekend as
Yeah.
tax-free.
Yeah, tax-free weekend.
That's August 7th through the 9th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that Saturday.
Yeah, that 8th, I believe.
Yeah.
Jordan, when's the Fast Cat event?
That's
like November.
Okay. I was like, that'd be pretty cool if it coincided. Like, hey, race your dogs, buy some stuff.
I can reach out to her if she wanted to be a vendor.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
send her your info.
Yeah, send it to me, Derek, or Lucas, somebody. We do have a new media person involved. It's taken our media to another level, of course. It always starts with a bang the first week. That's kind of how that goes, just from the exposure. But it's been really cool to see the new interaction and new people wanting to be a part of DDI. So that's been cool. So yeah, just be ready for this Saturday. It's going to be exciting.
All right. Not really any updates for the chamber. They're working on the third quarter coffee and chat and the luncheon. I believe we're going to hear from Kurt Chakowski for the third quarter luncheon, and you heard him speak about his involvement with capturing bin Laden. It is an amazing story and how he was involved in that. So, he spoke at Rotary, and it was one of those where we were like, no, keep going.
Yeah.
And so ran out of time there. So it should be a good time there. And of course, they're gearing up for Fall Fest and already have applications and already have quite a few vendors already signed up, like ahead of schedule. It's gonna be one of those things where they're gonna probably have to deny people the last couple of weeks because of no room.
At least all the streets will be open.
All right. And then so that's it for the chamber. Let's move on to the tourism CVB update.
Good morning. So right now we are in the thick of sister cities. So last night we went to the Rangers game. And yesterday we went to the Galleria Mall and they shopped for 5 hours and spent a lot of money. But they're having a great time. This has been a really good group and the students are connecting really well, better than what we've seen in the past. I think overall we just have an awesome group of kids this year, so we're excited for that. other tourism news, I had talked at previous meetings about the sponsored content for the new website. So City Council has requested a project report for that. Again, like, this is a totally optional thing. We won't allow any chains to participate in the program. We will tell the company who to reach out to. So come August, once that's approved by the council, they should start sending y'all emails asking if that's something that you want to do. There are tiered levels, so it could be anywhere as low as $50 a month to $500 a month, depending on the type of content that you want. What we loved about it and why we want to move forward with it is because it looks really seamless with the website. So it's not going to be in your face like this is sponsored content. It's going to mesh really beautifully with the website, but then it also gives businesses an opportunity to showcase your products first. Whereas like typically for businesses that, everything's listed in alphabetical order. So if your business starts, with L through Z, then people have to scroll a lot or click through to be able to see your business. So this would give you an opportunity to be featured on our front pages. Our website launch did get pushed back. The company that they use for creating the domains was having some issues. So it should be August 5th or August 12th when we have the actual launch date, which it works out for us because there's a couple things like on the back end that we wanted to clean up and get some new pictures. But overall, the website does look really good. We got new marketing videos for both of our homepages from Alex with AR Productions, and she just did a really great job of showcasing Denison, so we're excited to have both of those on the website. And we're hosting a French event at the Katy Plaza and Katy Depot the same day as the wine walk. It's going to be called Bonjour Denison, and it's a French-inspired market. So Make Wild Markets is helping us solicit vendors, but everything is supposed to be as truly French as we can get it. So, macaroons, baked goods, flowers, all of the things. So we're really excited for that. And then Kat is helping me with attractions committee that was passed by the CVE board at our last meeting. So this will be an opportunity for all of our partners and attractions to get together once a month and, talk to each other about what's going on, find out how we can cross-promote, how we can help support Denison as a destination overall. So Heyday can promote the birthplace or Katy Depot, things like that. It's just a way that we're able to connect more and help each other out. So we're really excited to get that started.
So do you have very specific board seats? What openings are you going to have at the end of the year?
We'll have the sport and outdoor, and then I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot. What did we talk about?
Do you have restaurants, hotels? I mean, there's very specific.
Amy will be
You gotta
able
add
to
large.
reapply for the restaurant, food and beverage. Kat can be reappointed. I think we talked about that. And I think you were good. So is Mike's position with sports and outdoor? I think Amanda's position. No, it's the at-large. So Cindy, and then Laura, and then Mike.
Okay.
So 2 at-large positions, and then the sport and outdoor tourism.
All right.
Yeah, you said, I was looking back, you said there was like 4 roll-offs going on. Zach, Laura, Mike, and Cindy.
Cindy's changed.
So it is yours, yeah, okay.
I'm at large.
No, you're the chamber
Okay.
representative.
All right. Only reason I brought it up, I was like, oh, here's a good cast of people in all sorts of different industries.
Would y'all like to be on another board?
All right. So let's move on to the, thank you, Jordan. Let's move on to the promotion committee. Looks like we got some items there to talk about.
We've kind of already talked about prior to promotion committee was right when we had that meeting regarding the Meet Me on Main. So we discussed Meet Me on Main in the meeting and what was discussed in that previous meeting. Toilet shopping hadn't begun yet, so we had talked about ideas with that and interest in wanting to do that. But the main thing probably of note to you guys is August 18th, we'll be having our Good Morning Downtown event again. This is that event where we have it in here in Chambers. We'll have the tables that go around the room kind of in a semicircle where you can talk to different groups like the Chamber about Fall Fest, talk about the Arts Council. They now have a new executive director, so you can talk about what kind of programs they want to, that they're planning, and really just resources for you guys. Like, we talked with development services about like the permitting process for some of you guys. If that's of help to you guys, but it's for you guys. It's for you guys to meet your other business owners, but also just to get information from all the different kind of departments in the city and partners that we work with. We'll have them do a quick little presentation like last year where they kind of give off what they do and what kind of service they have, and then of course you can go up to their table and ask specific questions that you have to you. But yeah, that's gonna be 8 to 9:30 on August 18th.
So on the Twilight Shopping, we did surveys of all the business owners and heard back from several. It was close between Friday and Saturday, but there were, like the Depot's already doing something the last Thursday of the month. And then the majority wanted Thursdays. Like, I think Melissa had some family obligations and on Fridays. And also, you got to think of their staff. Sometimes it's younger and they are involved in Friday night activities. So Thursday was the decision. And that's just survey results. That's not a meeting. That's not discussion back and forth. That's just what the business owners said that they wanted. So we chose Thursday. Grant's been promoting it. I did a TV interview. I'm trying to get another one, and then we'll do some advertising. The most people are going to be involved next Thursday night, and so I wanted to advertise that. But we've got, between the businesses that were already open on Thursday night and the businesses, the shopping mainly, that are staying open, we've got like 35 businesses that are open downtown. And so that is. And it's pretty active. I was talking to Bubba Thompson this week, and he said, he's in a loft, and they sit out on their balcony and just watch people walking by, and they'll come up to a door and, well, I wish they were open, and so it's a missed opportunity. I'm not the one working the hours, but it's a missed opportunity for sure because there's lots of people milling around. So we also called it Twilight Shopping because we already had the graphic, and to be responsive to the request, to get it implemented quickly, then we just called it Twilight Shopping. So that's kind of a report on that.
All right. Thank you for those updates. You got anything from results of the Economic Vitality Committee? So in the report, it says y'all reviewed any changes and introduced new potential reward programs for businesses through DDA.
DDF is looking at a rewards program for the downtown businesses, and Tiffany has requested to come next month and tell us about it, so I'll hear more. And then the rest was just business as usual on the economic vitality.
All right, and then design committee, looks like a downtown drive around was done to identify maintenance needs and assess district appearance.
Yeah, this is something that we started, I guess, maybe at the end of last year. We've kind of quarterly just drove around downtown. I think it's a good tool for noticing that, like, I don't drive the alleys all day, so I don't know, I don't find, the pallets that are left behind or those kind of things on a daily basis. So it's good just to notice that thing and those kind of things. And I think we've seen improvements from things that we've asked about or Jason's taken care of. So yeah, it's been a good program that we've been doing.
On Katy Plaza, is that Parks and Rec or is that Main Street that does the landscaping and such?
So it's been Parks and Rec, but we've been transitioning to Main Street. But we have a new company coming on board that we contracted with, so they'll have more manpower at a time, especially. And they're going to be responsible for all of Phase 1, so that includes down by the depot, on Houston, and then up Main to Fannin. Of course, they won't take over the Phase 2 until Piazza's out. So, September, October, they'll take that over. But right now they're focusing on Phase 1, and they're trying to get everything good by Fall Festival. Of course, I shared that we've got other events, and I gave them a card of our events, and we want it to look nice for the wine walk, but there's just a lot to catch up on. He's got to worry about the health of the trees also. Some of the trees are distressed, and so he's going to be addressing that. He's a certified arborist. Yeah, it really is. And so it's,
Downtown Denison loves trees.
yes, yes.
Let the minutes reflect.
But it is good to know that the plants and the trees will, be monitored like that. Jason did a great job, and he's still going to oversee that work. And he's got to do Phase 3 and everything else on the side streets. He's got to do the fountains. He's got to do the banners. So he's having plenty to do, but it was just too much for one person.
Yeah, he also does all of our events and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll call him and say, hey, can you bring me this from the trailer? And he's not doing anything else. He's bringing us something.
Yeah. And D3 has, like if your trash cans way back, a long walk, we've offered for him to help people get to their trash cans if their back door is not accessible. So there's a lot of other things that he's responsible for. We were approved this year to hire another person, but that happened, but it didn't happen because two people couldn't have taken care of it. It just would have been too much, especially with Phase 2 coming. And so we hired this contracted company instead, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think that things are going to be maintained as they should be, and not as do the best you can. Because
it's a lot for one person to do.
yeah, it really is, and I don't want Jason to feel like he couldn't accomplish it. I think in his mind he thought he could, but it's impossible. 3 people probably would have a hard time. So we're looking forward to it.
And you can, if you notice anything in the park, you can always give us a call. Sarah's called me on some things, and I've told Jason whenever.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was Parks and Rec or y'all. Like, it makes sense if it's all Main Street, but if it was Parks and Rec, I was gonna be complaining, I think.
It's complicated because it's like Parks
since y'all moved out, basically, it's kind of been forgotten.
Sarah called me. I let Jason know. He said he was doing it this week, so that should be soon.
But yes, yeah, he'll be letting us know when he sees that.
Okay, cool. And another weird request, not a weird request, but is it possible to like put emphasis on Austin and Maine, like first? Because I know that those flower beds are a little rough.
Yeah, you and I agree on that, that there's more traffic on Austin and Maine than there is on any. I may be having too high hopes, but I'm really thinking that this contractor is going to have everything looking nice. Especially after winning Great American Main Street Award, I think that's what's expected. Not that it wouldn't have been before, but you know, a weedless downtown was my goal before. But we've got to look like we're winners at all times, and so I agree with you, and so we'll work on that. But it's always appreciated when you guys let us know, because we don't see everything. We're, like you said, we're not in the alleys every day. We see the alley behind our building, and we're out and about, but we still won't see everything. So please share with us. Don't hesitate to.
All right. And then do we have any updates for the organization committee?
The first thing that comes to mind is the volunteer program. We're making progress on our shirts. We've reached out to Kim with the Hang and Tea to help us get our shirts created. I am not a t-shirt expert, so I don't fully know pricing and all that stuff. So we're nailing all that stuff down right now. That's in progress, but we're making steps towards that. Other than that,
If I can jump in, this was right. We hadn't met this month yet, so this is before the 4th of July. So that was a lot of the planning too, was getting that prepared. So hopefully you guys came out. I think it went really well. In the stadium, we had more programming than we've had in the past, of course, because of 250. But Shauna Raines did amazing, and then she was completely surprised with the Local Legend Award, so that was really cool to see her cry. I say that jokingly, but that was really meaningful, and I think it was just something that from our perspective, the staff really, the public really enjoyed. So staff enjoyed also, but yeah, it was a really good event. Really, there was no issues at all this year. I mean, we don't expect to have huge issues at our events or anything, but it's always nice when everything runs smoothly. So.
All right, thank you for that update. Donna, what do you have for us on the director's report?
Well, I have Sam created this good neighbor policy that, let me just put this microphone down and show you the difference.
I made it yesterday, so that's why it's on your
If you can look on the left-hand side here, I don't know if she made copies of
I
that.
did on the baby travel.
Yes, it's just very readable. So she does a great job, so.
I haven't finished formatting it and spacing it and all that.
I was
just
gonna
wanted to get
say, it needs.
Right? But it's gonna be content out there, so y'all can look at it, give me any notes or anything like that.
Looks great.
This is much better than this. I would not, I wouldn't go down a fourth of this page. I'll read this whole page.
I'm right with you.
Yeah, I thought this was just like
It's too much.
an online version.
Yeah.
This one's really easy on the eyes. Good job.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, like, I probably sounded like in the sponsorship thing that I don't want to do any work, because I was talking about it's just too hard to manage. And that's not it at all. I just have a lot of experience, and I know what we can do and what puts an extra burden on us. And so we're just streamlining our processes, and so I hope I didn't sound like I'm avoiding work, because that's,
It sounded like you're being a good steward of your manpower and your employees and what they're already doing, so I appreciate you being honest with us.
yeah, that was the intent anyway. My vacation is coming. So, right after the last Music on Main on July 31st, I always take off. Grant's going to cover the back to school breakfast for us. So, speaking in front of the whole DISD. Yeah, that just came up yesterday. And, so I am now the Historic Preservation Officer, interim Historic Preservation Officer, as Mary Tate left. And so Sam and Grant have been kind of really still doing the meetings while Mary was the Historic Preservation Officer. We never switched full responsibilities out of our department. So that's not a huge change for them, but it's all our responsibility now, so that is a change. But it's going well. The thing that is a little bit different, there's a grant that needs to be got on track, and so I'm having to manage that, and there's a lot of questions, so that's just something that's going on. And then we've got a lot of deadlines coming up. I put in for us 3 to speak at the Texas Downtown Conference in November in Amarillo. And so I don't know if they'll accept our proposal or not, but last night, the national conference, the call for proposals came through, and so I'm considering doing the same presentation for that, or proposing that. We have a lot of grant deadlines in July and August, and into early September. The Downtown TX Awards are going on in August, and so we've got to decide what local projects would be competitive statewide. Okay. Yeah, we can. And then, let's see. We've got to order bricks for the Eisenhower Monument. The Good Morning Downtown on August 18th is a really important meeting, I think. I just hope that we keep the business owners engaged, and that's a good way that we can serve them, serve you guys. I'm making a presentation as part of not a panel, but a 5-person presentation virtually on housing, so our downtown loft units. And that's to the Houston, Galveston Area Council on July 23rd. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have to have our fee schedule in. Okay. We'll get an extension. I don't know why I wrote that down. Maybe it is today. I got a reminder this week, but yeah, it's not happening. It's literally just one step at a time. Okay, what's due now? And we do it because we, things like Grant's working on the wine walk that's in September, and we sent something out about that yesterday. We've been working on the website, getting trained up on that, and So, and then the open late, there was a lot of back and forth, surveys. Okay, now resurvey, this is what we had. So there's just been a lot of that going on. How do we want to do this? The categories, I'll just call them off to you. Think of our downtown awards that we hold in February. This is on a statewide basis. So if we have a winner or a candidate for a winner next year, then that project could be competitive statewide. They ask questions like, is it sustainable? So if you have built a new building or done a rehab and you put sustainable practices in it, then that's going to be very competitive. But, like our Heritage Park next year will be competitive. We already won on phase 1, but we'll submit for phase 2. So it's got commercial interior, best renovation, rehab, restoration, best new construction, and best public improvement. And then the achievement awards, best promotion, that includes community events, social media campaigns, and marketing campaigns. Best downtown business, best downtown partner, best economic game changer, and downtowner of the year, and best Texas downtown. So we're not eligible for that because we've already won.
Reigning champs.
Yeah. Well, it's like forever nominated. And so I noticed last night on social media that Georgetown, as winner of Best Texas Downtown, which they were over 50,000, did a Netflix documentary. It's like I'm waiting for the phone to ring.
Let's let the park get finished.
No, it's probably that trend. Have you seen the trend of all the people acting like they're doing a Netflix documentary?
Oh.
I bet you that's what it is, and you could do that if you wanted to.
Okay.
It's like a viral trend.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Yeah, you
fun.
throw the microphone, which camera?
Yeah. Sit down. Yeah.
Okay, just claim
Yeah,
it,
it's just a stool
basically.
in it,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it across a few different industries.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be funny. Have you sit in a chair and say,
Adjust your mic and everything.
Yeah.
give me prepared to
I'll show you some videos.
Okay, well, silly me. I'm late to the party. But,
I would have thought the same thing.
but that's cool. Yeah, I can sit in a chair and adjust my mic. We've got just the chair, don't we?
The
And
issue
use the
is
Kelly
like,
Happy Hour chair.
it's coming up with the what you're gonna prepare your like the wording for it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the, yeah.
If it's good or not.
Right, well,
Yeah.
maybe it's a tag, so it shows the person sitting down and getting ready, and then it has like a preparing for my documentary on
how we won?
how, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I look up Georgetown Netflix documentary and it just pulls up some murder that happened there. So,
Yeah, we're not preparing for that.
Wait.
We're not preparing for that.
it does have, yeah, it's just like one of those.
Yeah, cutesy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my friend Kim, and she's sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get the audio. That's the
Yep.
Do you think it's fake, just like the others?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the same
Okay.
music, everything, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I don't spend that much time on social media, obviously. And then there's Susan H. Campbell Award for Professional Excellence. So we will work on the awards. If y'all have any projects that you would like to nominate, then we will we will be glad to listen and factor those in. We are very thorough, I would like to think, of our awards. First, not for this, but for our annual awards, we send it out and ask for nominations. That way, maybe, let's just say Melissa's done her back patio entrance and we haven't seen it, but it's just an awesome project and we wouldn't have known about it or we would have forgotten about it. So projects like that, you can nominate and we might see something that we weren't aware of. So, and then we go through all the building permits. So projects have to get permits, and so we see if there's anything we miss there and which ones. And then, of course, there's the historical accurateness of them and things like that. So we try to check it from a lot of different directions to make sure that we don't miss something good. We had missed one before because it's not a business. It was just a building downtown that got renovated, and it was like a multi-year project, and the business didn't, follow, and so it wasn't on our radar. It was a nice project, but it just wasn't on our radar, so we try not to let that happen again.
I think the accomplishment of tearing down 201 West Main should be just.
Yeah, some things, that was hard for me to palate just because tearing down a building is not good, but it was necessary. And, I'm glad Don Day's doing it because he can get it put back up quickly. And we know that he's going to finish it, and so that's going to be good for that corner because it is so heavily traveled.
In case y'all don't know, it was literally falling down and housed the stray cats of downtown.
There wasn't a floor.
Yeah, it was
Right, there was no
ground.
floor there.
Yes.
It's wild.
All right. So are y'all gonna email that to us and kind of give some nominations so we can say, hey, that MKT Realty building is.
I'll send you all the packet that we were reading off of, so you can, if you have any ideas for us, we would love to hear your thoughts, but I'll send that to you. I'll also send an email about the site visit, so that we can get a head count, so that'll look out for that email later today.
We mentioned it real quick, but I meant to make a note of it earlier. Donna sent an email last night, and I posted in the business owners group, the wine walk. Please let me know or fill out the form. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. I normally get a flood of emails, so I've tried to switch to more forms for everything. If you can just let me know that you're wanting to do that by next Friday, that way we can get you in the hat. As always, I'm going to give priority to people that didn't do it last year, just so we can, it's obviously a really good sales day for anyone that gets it. I try to spread up by blocks so that people are walking between all of the stores, and then give priority to ones who didn't do it last year. But of course, if no one on your block wants to do it, and you're the only one that does again, then you'll get you'll get it again. So, anyway, spread the word for the wine walk, please.
Is it the same layout as usual?
Yep. We'll do the wine glass pickup in the visitor center, and then we'll have the winery. We'll do 11 to 5 again this year. We extended it last year, and that was absolutely needed. So that worked out really well. And we'll get we're kind of scrambling on this. We need to get the Eventbrite ticket put up and everything. What did you say? I'm sorry.
How much are tickets?
No.
I think they were last year.
Yeah.
35?
That's. We discussed if we might need to raise it like $5, but we haven't.
So we haven't actually decided on that.
Yeah.
35 is the price from last year.
I just had a quick question. Yeah. On that organisation one, when it says about the maintaining and operating the video board in Heritage Park, is that something that will kind of like as a continuous thing, or it'll be more like during festivals, or?
I envision it being on all the time. Maybe not at night, late night, but I envision it having, let's say, the wine walk, or music on Main, or Stars, Stripes, and Santas. Is that the name of it? Like partners events that are happening downtown. to promote that. So,
Have we, I feel like we've talked about this, but selling ad space for it, is it gonna be on?
yeah.
Actually, what we were talking about in organization is how are we going to facilitate that, just overall, with ads and all that.
So I don't know if you've looked at it, but it's a big screen. And so would the ad space be the whole, like the Chamber's billboard rotates every 8 seconds or something? Would it be like that, or would it be maybe a border, to advertise? I don't know, but I would, especially since it's due, tomorrow? Today.
One of those two.
Yeah. Anyway, I would appreciate your thoughts on what you would think's good.
I would do multi on one page, like on one slide, because our events are the most important thing, of course, and you don't want to just add every time. I would maybe do like stack them.
So like say 4 to a page or a screen.
Yeah.
So just like leave it up, like don't change it out. Every 8-second rotation is what I'm talking about, or every minute rotation, or whatever you'd think. Just put the 4 that you would be rotating on one screen.
And then the next one would be an event, and then.
So still rotate through slides, but the slides would have more than one thing on it. So like the 4 upcoming downtown events would be one slide.
Yes, I would do like one event per slide, but then put all the ads on one slide.
I think he's saying just, if I'm representing you right, that way it's not saturated with 100 just repeat ads. It's, 7 slides of events and then 1 slide for the sponsors.
And I don't want it to turn into an advertisement. I feel like probably businesses outside of downtown are going to want to be advertised. We may do that for revenue. I don't know. We're going to look at it, and council's going to probably provide input on that, and Renee will visit with her. But I would like to know your thoughts on that, having people from the outside, because it's going to be prominent, and it's going to be just very, very popular, I think. So our main goal is to promote downtown, and so we'll use that.
Is there anybody's locks that interferes with? Especially come October, November, time change, it's getting
Right.
dark,
I don't think there's anybody living in those. I think there's some over here, and then maybe in front of RB West. But we'll turn it off, like at 9 or 10 o'clock. Yeah. But as I mentioned a while ago, there's a lot of people downtown at night, and, from jiu-jitsu to Dance Explosion to Shonda Raines, and so, and just dining.
Dining's a big one.
Yes, sir.
Will it follow ordinance chapter 21, article 6, and 21-23 for the light and noise?
Yes,
Downtowners?
absolutely.
I mean, if we follow that, like, hey, if that says 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we should probably.
Right. It's kind of like our Christmas tree. We had it on a playlist that repeated, and a loft resident went and Christmas Scrooge.
I feel like it would be good profit for us, not us, but the city, to offer ad space. Maybe like the design committee just approve what goes on it and the ads that go on it, and so it's all kind of cohesive.
Yeah, cohesive's good.
Well, and priority given to downtown
Right.
businesses.
It's sort of like
Looking over here, you're always like sitting over here.
Yeah.
We could try to special project.
It'd be nice if it could be used for giveaways or something, or like, gift cards or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. So he was asking if it's, the park, when we rent the park, that doesn't come to us. We manage it, but it goes to the general fund. So I don't know if this would as well, or if we could say, okay, well, we're going to give away downtown Nifty cards with the proceeds from it or something like that, which would just put it back in your pockets. So that would, that would be a win-win.
It
But
might help with some of the funding as well at the events downtown, because they don't come cheap.
yeah. So y'all don't have to sell as many sponsorships, and we don't have to sell as many sponsorships. Yeah, that's very, very good point. Yeah.
But that's another sales point for sponsoring events,
Yes,
is that you'll be on the flyer on
And-
the screen.
And that was something that I was going to point out. I didn't write it down, but, that sign up now, well, I could provide ad space. Let's say First United wants, every year you sponsor our 4th of July, every year you sponsor Music on Main. If you sign up now versus, December or January, then we can give you ad space on there. So, yeah, and at the event, it's going to be popular. Sam, did you have something?
Oh, I was just, you asked if it was due. Were you meaning the fee schedule? Okay, I think that's the 31st, if I read this.
Okay,
So we have another week.
good.
Thank goodness, but I'll make a note. So we can work on that.
Any more discussion? Because that's good ideas.
The only discussion I have is if council balks at smaller sponsorships or ad space there and like, hey, can we do like the school did with the billboard and like, get major sponsors but only 4 for years. And I'd say it will, no one here would be able to do that and the small businesses wouldn't. So if they try to go too big for major, then we're gonna drown out all the businesses to be able to do stuff.
Downtown.
So, also, our green room is not going to be furnished, and so we could use that as a way to furnish it possibly.
Or pay for landscaping, help pay for landscaping down there.
All right. Well, at 9:23, let's adjourn the Main Street Board of Directors Advisory Board meeting.